Hey guys, welcome to another video. If you're new here, I'm Kelly and we are currently in our 12 days of makeup. That means I am coming to you every other day for 12 days starting on December 1st, ending on December 23rd. I will link my playlist right here because we are in the middle of it. I've already filmed some videos, but yet I have some more good ones to come. Today's video is a tag video that was created by my friend Heather Austin and her friend Mandy here on YouTube. I will have both of their videos and their channels listed down below, but they came up with the 10 gift-worthy eyeshadow palette tag. They shared 10 palettes that they felt like would be good gifts for the holiday season. I then went on to see Karen Harris and I think CLARKE both filmed their own videos for this tag video, so I will link them and any other creators that I find along the way down below. But I thought, since my whole theme for the 12 days of makeup is the number 12, that I would share 12 gift-worthy palettes with you today. And I'm taking a page from Karen Harris's book. I do have the majority of the palettes that I'm going to share with you sitting here in front of me, but I'm very basic. I am a neutrals girl. I don't have much color in my collection, and I thought Karen talked about how there would be palettes that she would give to friends that are not good for herself and for her collection, so she didn't have them, but she still shared them. So I do have a couple palettes that I think would be great gifts, but they're not currently in my collection. So why don't we go ahead and jump into the video. So the first palette that I'm going to share with you is not a palette that I have in my collection, and it's not even a new release. But it is a palette that I gifted to my best friend Smags last Christmas, I believe, and I am talking about the Charlotte Tilbury Darling palette. This palette is a little bit on the pricier side, but I know Sephora has all kinds of sales and deals going on right now. You can find Charlotte Tilbury at Sephora, and Charlotte Tilbury may even have some sales going on her website as well. I want to say this palette is in the $50 range, if I'm remembering correctly. But it's a beautiful neutral palette. Charlotte Tilbury is a luxury brand. It comes with a luxury price tag. I do love Charlotte Tilbury. I think her packaging is amazing. But these are just beautiful, rosy, neutral shades. And like I said, I gifted this to my best friend Smags because I know that she loves Charlotte Tilbury and I know she is a lover of neutrals, and she has really enjoyed that palette. She can dip into it every day. She can get some quick and easy looks, nice everyday looks for work, and so she has truly enjoyed it. So I thought, since we're talking about eyeshadow palettes that we're gifting, that would be a good one to mention. The next palette I do have in my collection, and it's an eyeshadow palette that I talk about often, probably in every eyeshadow palette video that I've ever done, and it is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. I don't want to talk about it in too much detail because I know that I talk about this palette often, but I think that this is just a great everyday go-to eyeshadow palette. It would be great for someone that you know is a neutrals lover, someone that's looking for a palette that they can go to every single day. I think the formula is amazing, but you can also get some pops of color in here. As you can see, I have hit pan on a couple of these eyeshadow shades. I pretty much hang out in the front half of the palette, but I have dipped into the back half a little bit. It's just a staple for me. I think it's worth it. I think this is a great palette, and if you have someone in your life that you know is a neutral lover or they're getting into eyeshadows for the first time, I think that this would be a great gift for them. Now I am cheating for this next one a little bit because I'm gonna show you two eyeshadows, but they're like sister palettes, and I don't think that you need both of them. Now these palettes are palettes that you are giving to someone that you love very much because they do come, sorry, I don't want to blind you. How can I tilt that so I don't blind you? Okay, they do come with a $65 price tag. So these are not someone that you're giving as like a white elephant gift or someone that you're not a huge fan of. These are for someone that you really love. And I'm talking about the Natasha Denona Bronze palette and the Glam palette. I do have videos on both of these, so I will link them down below, but the Bronze palette is for the warm-toned lover in your life, someone who is really looking to get a nice, easy, quick look. I have a fair skin tone, and I do feel like this eyeshadow palette can be a bit tricky to work with on my fair skin just because it doesn't have some of the things that I'm looking for. Like, I can't use any of these shades to set my eyeshadow primer. There isn't a matte that's light enough to set my eyeshadow primer. Beach is the lightest shade, and it's still more of a transition shade for me. There's also not a shade that I can use to highlight my inner corner or brow bone. I think that this probably would work best on someone with more of a medium skin tone. Now, can I wear it and can I get away with it? Yes, but I just think that this is a more well-rounded palette for someone with a skin tone that is deeper than mine. I do love it. It's a great palette in my collection. You get beautiful bronze looks, but I just think that if you are gifting someone who has more of a fair skin, that may not be the best option. However, the Glam palette. This has been an all-star palette for me. It's a palette that I can't put down. I'm wearing it today on my eyes. I think the shimmers in this palette are absolutely amazing. Again, it's $65, so it is pricey. You do get more cool toned eyeshadows, which aren't typically my jam. I tend to be more of a warm toned lover, but you do have a little bit of a warmer tone down here with this center eyelid shade. You can use this blend shade. It is more cool toned, but I feel like if you pair it with this center eyelid or this outer eyelid, you can get a little bit more of a warmer toned eyeshadow look. But even for someone like me who is a warm toned lover, I'm absolutely in love with the formulation in here. I think this eyeshadow palette is amazing. You do get a nice mirror, and this has been an absolute favorite for me. So I think if you have a girlfriend who is experienced with eyeshadows, who does love more luxury makeup, if they're looking for something that's kind of a go-to everyday shade, I think these eyeshadow palettes would be really good for them. Again, just pick one. Think about the person you're gifting, but I do recommend both of them. Let's jump to something that's a little bit more affordable. If the $65 price range is out of reach for you, I do want to recommend the Colourpop That's Taupe palette. I want to say I paid either $14 or $16 for this one. Again, this is more of a cooler toned eyeshadow palette. It's similar to the Glam palette. I don't think that they're dupes for each other by any means, but you can get some similar looks using this eyeshadow palette. I've worn it a ton. The shadows work amazingly. It's much more affordable. You can use codes. People have codes on YouTube for Colourpop, and you can save some money on top of that. I do know that this eyeshadow palette has been hard to find. It disappeared very shortly after launching. It disappeared off of the Colourpop website, but then when they were doing their Black Friday sales, I saw that they had this paired with another eyeshadow palette, and you couldn't buy it separately, but you could buy it as a duo. So in the event that you cannot find the That's Taupe palette, right after releasing the That's Taupe palette, they did come out with the Cold Stone Fox palette. And that palette looks similar to the That's Taupe palette, but it's larger. So it does come with a larger price tag. I don't remember what the price is offhand. I can write it on the screen, but I know that that palette is still available. One of my girlfriends purchased that palette. She has been loving it, and it's still more affordable than the Natasha Denona or the Charlotte Tilbury. So if you are looking to gift someone a very nice palette that they would enjoy if they are a neutral lover, but you have a tighter budget, I would go the Colourpop route. So remember I said that I had some eyeshadow palettes that I wanted to recommend, but they're not palettes for me. The Juvia's Place Walhalla 2 palette is one that I wanted to recommend as a gift for a color lover. I have had some friends on here. I know, I think Karen Harris, BRIT, CLARKE, Heather Austin, Angelica Nyquist, I think they all have videos using the Walhalla 2 palette from Juvia's Place, so I'll link their videos down below. Any videos that I have with any of these, or if I have friends who have made videos, I will list them down below so that you can get a more in-depth review on each of these palettes. But I do like the Juvia's Place formula. I know that my friends have loved the Walhalla 2 palette. You do get a couple rows where there are some neutral shades, but there are more blues and greens in that eyeshadow palette. So if you have a color lover, Juvia's Place is on the more affordable end, but you get some nice high quality eyeshadows in their palettes. Speaking of Juvia's Place, I also wanted to recommend their minis. I have the mini taupe palette. I've used this one a couple times. This is for someone who likes more of a neutral, diffused look. I do enjoy this eyeshadow palette. I do want to do a ranking video where I rank the last 10 palettes that I purchased, and this will be in that video, so I'll talk more about it then. But Juvia's Place has a ton of minis. They have like a mini nude, a mini violet, a chocolate palette, which is similar to this palette, but a little bit more rich in tones. The nudes palette is more muted like this one. I want to say that there's like a berries, a mauves. These run for $14. However, I purchased this one for $7. It was on sale on the Juvia's Place website. You can also find them at Ulta. So again, these are smaller palettes if there's someone who's just getting into makeup, or maybe they just have a smaller collection and they want to dabble with a little bit of color. You could pick up the violets or the mauves. But these are great go-to everyday palettes. They would be great gifts, great stocking stuffers, just because they are on the tinier end. They're more affordable. They're more easily accessible because you can find them at Ulta, but I think these are a really great gift option as well. Another palette that I don't have in my collection, but I saw Mandy talk about it, I saw Heather talk about it, and I saw Karen talk about it. So I want to recommend it to you as well. It is the BH Cosmetics Naughty Palette. There are a nice mixture of neutrals and colors. So if you do have someone in your life who tends to be more of a neutral lover, but they like to dabble in color every now and then, or they like to do a lower lash line with color, a pop of color, this would be a great palette for them. I know Heather Austin has been loving the BH formula lately. She's been talking about them a lot on her channel, and the packaging of this palette is super cute anyway. I think it was Heather who mentioned it in her video. She was like, it already has a super cute Christmas design, just slap a bow on it and give it to a friend. So I think that's really amazing. You get the cute packaging, you get the nice formula with BH Cosmetics, and then a mixture of color. So again, if you have someone who's maybe a beginner or they're just dabbling in color a little bit, this may be a great choice for them. Now we're gonna have a lot of neutrals here, because I am a neutrals lover. So again, this palette would be for a neutral lover, and I am talking about the BK Beauty True Beauty Eyeshadow Palette. This is a palette that is new on the scene. You do get beautiful neutral shades here with this pop of color with Kate, and you can even get a little bit smoky with Dream down here on the bottom. Now this is similar to the Juvia's Place Taupe palette in my opinion, in the sense where you can get more of a lighter, blown out, diffused look, but these eyeshadows are buildable and you can build them up to get more of a punch with your eyeshadow look. Again, this is for a neutral lover. This is not for the color lover in your life, but you do have a nice formula. It comes with a great mirror, and BK Beauty is an overall great brand. If you wanted to throw in some brushes, you could make a purchase and get the BK brushes to go with the palette, but I would recommend this as a great giftable palette as well. Now I want to talk about two palettes that are great for the neutral lover in your life, but the neutral lover who wants to dabble in color a little bit, or for beginners who maybe don't know what their makeup style is, they're not sure what they're looking for in an eyeshadow palette. These next two palettes would be great for them. One of them is the Pumpkin Spice palette. This is limited edition and maybe hard to find. I think it's still available on the Ulta website, so I will link that down below. You may not be able to find it in store anymore, but the reason why I say that this would be a great palette for a beginner or someone who's just dabbling into color is because you do get a ton of warm toned matte shades in here. You also get cute little pops of color, like you have some purples, you have a pink, and then your lid shades come with some pops of color. So you have a couple purple lid shades, you have this beautiful green shade. This green shade is very wearable, and this is kind of what sold the palette for me, is I wanted a green shade that I could wear that wouldn't be too like bam in your face green, and I feel like Wanna Piece of Me does that for me. You have this beautiful gold shade, My Oh My Gourd Broke, but this was more of a pink shade, so you could wear that if you're going for an everyday kind of look. These palettes are super cute. I love the tin packaging. It is a little bit on the bulky side, but I think that it's a nice touch. Too Faced is known for their holiday palettes and their tin packaging, so I think that's really cute. It does smell good. All of the Too Faced eyeshadow palettes smell like something. This one, it doesn't really smell like pumpkin to me, and I don't think it's as strong as the Chocolate Bar palette, but it still has a nice scent. And of course, it comes with a cute little mirror. So again, if you have someone who is a beginner or in transition trying to work with a little bit of color, that would be a great palette for them. Another palette that is a little bit hard to find is the Sydney Grace collab with Mel Thompson, the Tiny Marvels palette. But if you know someone who's wanting to try out color but is a little bit nervous that they're gonna do it wrong or that it's scary just because the colors are so bold, I think this would be a great eyeshadow palette for them because you can still get your neutral looks. You have your nice browns in here. You have Web, which is a light shade. Fire Butts, it is a green shade, but it's more of a lighter green shade. But then when they want to dabble in some color, you have this beautiful Mantis and Jewel Bees shade. This BB shade is a very bright, vibrant gold shade. And then Scarab is an awesome, like, I don't know if it's marketed as a duochrome, but it's almost like a duochrome because you get that blue-brown shift. I've really been enjoying this palette. It's not one that I reach for every day because I am a neutrals lover, but there are times when I pull this out, I'm not intimidated by the shades in here. I can get some nice wearable looks, but they don't feel too deep, dark, and vampy for me. So if you know someone like me who wants to play with color but is a little intimidated, this is a great one. Again, this is from the brand Sydney Grace, so you do have to order this online, and I know that it comes in and out of stock, so that will be one. If you are wanting to order this for someone, you may want to sign up for email notifications to make sure that you don't miss it. And number 12, the last palette that I want to share with you is one that was new to my collection in 2020, but it's not a new eyeshadow palette. I've wanted it for so long, and I'm glad that it's finally mine. We are talking about the Dominique Cosmetics Latte palette. If you have a neutral lover in your life who is obsessed with shimmer shades, these 3 shimmers are amazing. They're not glittery and they're not foiled and metallic, but they create a nice, beautiful sheen and a pop on the eye. I absolutely love the matte shades that you have on the top. I know that Kristen Dominique, who is the creator of Dominique Cosmetics, said that she wanted this to be a multi-purpose palette. So she wanted you to be able to use vanilla cream to set the powder under your eyes. She wanted you to be able to dip into hazelnut or mocha for a contour shade or a bronzer, but she also wanted you to be able to use this as your eyeshadow palette. So I think it's amazing. You do get 2, these look deep. Okay, these do look deep, but they are more wearable when you blend them out. You do get 2 pops of color in Cold Brew and Double Shot. This is a great palette if you're traveling. Who's traveling? We hope to in 2021. But if you know someone who travels or wants a palette where they can reach in and get like face shades as well, it does come with a cute mirror. This is a palette that I have been loving. You can find it at Sephora and I highly, highly recommend it. I think I said that was the final palette that I was gonna share with you, but that's only 11. I did forget there is one more that I want to share that is not in my collection. Again, this is for someone that you love very, very much because it comes with a high price tag. I want to say it's in like the $60 or $70 range, and I am talking about the Pat McGrath Mothership Celestial Divinity palette. I'm probably saying the name completely wrong, but I'm going to insert a picture. So it is the Pat McGrath palette. Every single person that I know on YouTube who has this palette has raved about it. They love the formula, they love the shades. You do only get 3 mattes, so this is definitely for someone who likes these shimmer shades, the metallics. If you know someone in your life who loves playing with color, playing with metallic eyeshadows, playing with shimmers on their lids, and they're not a beginner. I don't think this would be a beginner palette, but they are a more experienced makeup lover, then I think that would be a great palette for them. All of my friends who have it absolutely love it, and although I'm not a color lover and I don't think that this is necessarily a palette that I would go out and purchase, I do have to say, I would love to receive this as a gift. I can't bring myself to spend the money because I don't think that I would wear it every single day, but if I were to open a Christmas gift and see the Pat McGrath Mothership palette sitting there staring at me, I have to say I would be very excited, so I still wanted to share that one with you. And that is going to do it for this video. Thank you to Heather and Mandy for creating this fun tag. And it's very, very appropriate because as we are getting closer to Christmas, we are probably doing some last minute shopping. I know I am. And so what a great way to talk about some makeup products for the makeup lover in your life. If you are a content creator, I tag you to film this video. Even if you can't find a way to fit it in before the holidays, before Christmas, I still think this would be a fun tag video to see in later December or in January because these are just gift worthy. You can give them for Christmas gifts, you can give them for birthday gifts, you can give them for anniversary gifts. They are just giftable palettes. I would love to hear your palette recommendations in the comments down below. If you have any other giftable palette ideas that I didn't mention, please list those so that the people who are watching this video and searching for makeup palette ideas can go check those ones out as well. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I would love to have you subscribe before you go so I can see you in the next one. Bye.